AJ Dillon joins us. AJ, good morning. How you doing? And first of all, man, congratulations on a great, great career at Boston College.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate your time.
How tough was this decision?
It was extremely hard. My mom is a teacher, so leaving before I finished up my degree was really tough for us to come to a conclusion. But, we sat down and we figured out that this was the best decision for me. So, just on to the next chapter.
AJ, we can go back and look at, plays and clips and games and all those type things, but you brought a throwback style to college football here for 3 years. I mean, there are other guys that run behind their pads, to use the old coaching adage, but you brought it every game. I mean, is that the one way you know how to play football?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just kind of a product of my environment. From Connecticut, New London, Connecticut, kind of a roll your sleeves up and go to work type of place. And, I've always had that mindset from my mother, who was a single mother, to just keep working and strive for whatever you wanted to do. So, every time I carry the ball or catch the ball or I'm out there making plays, I just kind of go out there with that attitude that I won't be stopped.
What information have you received in terms of the upcoming NFL draft?
So I've heard mixed variations of reviews. Some people saying second round, third. A couple people are saying even later to the fifth. But right now I'm projected to run a 4.6 at the combine, and people that are questioning my speed, but I feel pretty good that I'll change some people's minds with that.
AJ, what piece of information have you received that absolutely ticks you off? Because players love to find that edge. Tell me, it's no different than doing a radio show or a TV show when somebody says, oh, man, he stinks, he can't do this. And, man, there's nothing better than putting that thing in your back pocket and saying, yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I can't wait to show you. What's the one piece of information you've heard that's got you fired up?
Probably people trying to say, like, I'm old school, big, like third down and one back, and that I'm not athletic. That's just funny. I mean, growing up, that was kind of my thing, just being the guy who could jump out the gym or beat everybody in a race or this and that. And so, I'm excited for when it comes down to it and actually get trained on, the right way to do the drills and jump and run. Just kind of show people what I got.
Well, here's the other thing, too, and I said this earlier in the show today. You crave contact. I mean, you like the ability to, whether it's just drop a shoulder on some guy or, heck, if he wants to line up, then you'll line up and truck him. I mean, that's a big part of your game. But it sounds like from what you're telling me, some people are getting lost in the athleticism that it takes to do that, right? Because they're just looking at the physical nature of who you are as a player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm going up against a loaded box, and so there's going to be people there. And so people see what they see often, having to run over people or having to run through somebody. They take that as all I have. But, I'm still working. There's still a lot to get better on. But I'm always trying to add new things to the tool shed. And definitely not a one-trick pony by any means.
I'm glad you called it the tool shed, because that's always what I thought it would be if it were you, the shed.
Yes,
I mean, and by the way, just carry around 5 or 6 plays from the Syracuse game if anybody doubts the speed. I mean, Roddy Jones and Eric Wood and I did the game, and between you and David Bailey, not only did you make contact, but you ran off from people. And that's the part I want to ask you about going forward here. You're in a scenario where, and I use the term old school about this, you also went and developed your receiving trait this year. You caught more balls this year than you have in the past. By design, was that an off-season conversation with Coach Adazio and with I know Mike Bajakian came in this year as the coordinator. Did he want to get you the ball in the throw game more, knowing what it would mean to you at the next level?
Yeah, I feel like it was just kind of everybody's decision. It kind of came together. I came to them with the idea that I wanted to do anything to help out the team this year, whether it's pass protection, which I spent a lot of time trying to get better at, catching the ball, doing a fake, and obviously running the ball. A big aspiration of mine was to be dependable in any situation. So whether that's first down or fourth down, first quarter or overtime. I wanted to be somebody that was reliable in any situation.
AJ, I always hear, whether it's West Durham or players or coaches that we have on, man, that AJ Dillon, nobody wants to tackle this guy, right? So now I'm gonna turn the table on you, all right? You're running over people. Who was the one guy in your career in ACC play that you didn't want to see?
You know, there's a lot of great guys that have gone against, but the first person you said that came into my mind was Bradley Chubb from NC State my freshman year. I remember I was just coming off, I think it was 2 games ago, or maybe, yeah, it's 2 games because we played Louisville, Virginia, and then NC State, I'm pretty sure. You know, I was kind of feeling myself, you know, young guy coming onto the scene. And, yeah, I remember running around, hearing about this guy, Bradley Chubb, and I remember running around the edge, and he just stuck out one arm, grabbed me by my chest, and pulled me back. And I was like, whoa, I've never been stopped like that. And that's something I'll never forget. So definitely took a piece of my sleeve with him.
Well, and, you know, here's the other thing, too. He was a first-round pick, so you're in pretty good company if it's Bradley Chubb. I mean, It's not like it was some run-of-the-mill guy who they just threw in there on a third down play, right? I mean, it was a real football player. I want to ask you about the nature of your decision, because Mark and I spent a few minutes this morning in the early part of the show talking about kind of the commonplace this has become for guys of your skill set. Especially guys in the past like Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey, who seem to kind of set the bar. What kind of discussion do you have with your teammates when you say, hey, I got to make this decision? And really, AJ, it's a business decision, right? I mean, this is, for as much as you love the college game and as much as the college game is given to you, you have to make a pro decision before you go pro about the way your college career is going to end. How did that work for you?
Absolutely. So, I mean, to first start with the teammates piece, my teammates supported me 100%. Getting later into the weeks, I kind of, you know, talked about it with some of my close friends. And, you know, they supported me. They said they understood my decision, and, you know, they wish nothing but the best. And they're still supporting me today. I was in the locker room this morning. And, you know, that's something I can't take for granted. As well as my coaches, you know, they were had my back completely. They understood the situation. And, you know, I guess it's just kind of, like you said, it's a business decision. But for me, I was kind of at the point where I felt like, not that I can't get better and can't keep working and developing by any means, but I just felt like there was nothing, I guess, to prove more film-wise to show, like, what I can do. And, you know, I felt like it was time for me to make that next step for me and my family, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just a decision I make for me. You know, it's a decision my family's going to make as well. And, you know, we just went ahead with that.
AJ, from an academic standpoint, I'm assuming you're in a good position in that department. We always ask every student athlete that comes on the show, what's the hardest class you've had at Boston College?
That's well, we have writing intensives. And those classes, you're like writing a paper a week, a long paper a week, and then at the end of the semester, you got like a 30 at least page paper, and that's tough. But I love to read and write, but as far as just like workload, that's definitely the hardest class, because I took one in season, and that was hard.
All right, before we let you go, we got a play here, and I think you're going to be able to see this. This is a run against Louisville. And this is early in your career, because I think I know what play this is that they've queued up. Yeah, and you know too. I mean, is this this is AJ Dillon at Boston College. If we run this play, is this your defining moment as a college football player?
Absolutely. You know, this is when I first kind of, you know, came on the scene as a freshman, and I mean, you can see the power, the balance, speed, and I guess it just all encompasses everything I was just talking about.
Yeah.
AJ, that's what I do to a plate of broccoli, what you just did to that poor guy from Louisville.
Throw it away.
Just throw it away. Just toss it to the floor and have no respect for it whatsoever.
Well, I want to tell you, and I told you this during the break, you had a great career. And if you stayed one more season, you're right. You've put all you need to put on tape for the next level. You would have been the ACC's all-time leading rusher. You'd have been a 5,000-yard rusher in your college career, which is an unbelievable mark. and you are already on the short list of great running backs in the nearly 70-year history of this league. So congratulations on a tremendous career. We wish you great success ahead. Hope you'll stay in touch with us when you get big time.
Absolutely.
But we'd love to have you come back when you get fitted for that hat on draft night, right, Pac?
By the way, just remember, when you get to the next level and Bradley Chubb tries to pull that move on you now, revenge. Be sweet.
Yeah, now
man.
I'm ready for it. Ready for it now.
Take care. Congratulations on a wonderful run at Boston College.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Appreciate having me.